Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. Now, look, this is my third video this morning, and I had no idea I would be doing this. In fact, I thought I could take a break and maybe wait a month before I get back in touch with you. And yet, 3 times a day already. Well, let me take advantage of this. The reason that I'm making this video for you is to inform you that you are too easy to be tricked. Let me say it again. You are too easy to be tricked. Let me show you what I mean. A year ago, year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, there were some people that were running for president, and they were telling you why they wanted to be your leader. They wanted you to vote for them. One was Donald Trump. Well, we found out that everything that Donald Trump was telling you was a lie. We found out he talked out the left side of his mouth, the right side of his mouth. And he does that so whatever the outcome is of what he said, if it's something that he said out the left side of his mouth, he can, and it happened, he can take credit for it. Or if it comes out of the left side of his mouth and it happened, he can take credit for it. But if it came out the right side of his mouth and it didn't happen, he can say he didn't say it. He can take credit for not saying it. Oh! That's what you call a Machiavellian liar. Now, Miss Clinton, she was talking a lot of trash, and everybody was telling you that Miss Clinton was lying. They said Donald Trump was no good. They said Miss Clinton was no good. And you were choosing between one of the two. These two good, no good people. Also, there was another gentleman running. His name was Sanders. And Sanders and Trump were saying basically the same things to address the concerns of you who have been left out. And they were talking because they know Miss Clinton wasn't speaking for you. She was speaking for Wall Street. She wasn't speaking for Main Street. And you just there in between. Now Sanders got up and he told you, Trump is no good, Miss Clinton is no good. But I am the one who wants to be your president. That's what he told you. Why did he want to be your president? Because he was saying he was better than Trump. He was saying he was better than Clinton. Now you really don't know what he is, but I do. You see, he went in and made I don't know what made him do it, but he made a truce. He decided, for one reason or another, I don't know what the reason is, that he was going to give his support to Miss Clinton, not Donald Trump, Machiavellian liar, but to Miss Clinton. This woman who works for Wall Street, this woman who was not going to do anything for you but what little she had to do, so little that many states she didn't even go to vote. She thought she had it wrapped up, and they didn't even matter. And she went up against Trump and lost. Now, many of you saying Sanders could have stood in there. Sanders, by his action, tells you he was no good. No good at all. And every time I hear him on television trying to talk, I just turn the channel. I don't want to hear him say a word. Why? Because if he thought that he was the key, if he thought that he was the one, why in the hell would he step out and put somebody that was going to treat Main Street like nothing? Why would he step back and give up free pass? Why? Miss Clinton proved now that she was no good. The Democratic Party proved that they were no good. Look what they did to him, or what they tried to do to him. He should have fought that battle out to the last hilt, if he cared. If he was truly the one, I say he wasn't the one, and he should sit down, but he still's talking because you're easy to be tricked. Now, Donald Trump done trick you. If you can get out of this, you're good. If you can get out of Donald Trump and what he has scheduled for you, you are a good one. But let me say this to you, ladies and gentlemen. Why were you in this situation? Why were these your only choices? The reason why is because of these two is what you deserved. Let me say that again. You deserve this. You did not deserve anybody better than Trump or better than Miss Clinton. Trump has stuck it to you like I don't know what. Now think for a moment. Think. If Barack Obama had stood up on the principles and the things that he told you about, if he had stood up strongly for change and tried to do something according to what his words were, He would have been out of office so fast it was a crying shame. And if he was trying to do some stuff like Trump, my God, he wouldn't have lasted a month. But right now, Trump is still riding that boat. Why? Because that's what you deserve. Let me give you another example. People were talking about these two candidates all over the country. They were saying neither one of them was any good. But they chose to say, let me share this with you. People just always interrupting me. Hello? What was I saying? Okay, you got what you deserved. There were people, well, I won't say there were people. There was me. I went around telling you that you deserve to have your desires. And I was going to tell you, not that I was going to give them to you like Trump was going to give them to you, that you had the power to make it manifest coming together in unity yourselves. I went, knocked on doors, not the last campaign, but before, that you have rejected me many times. From the first time Bill Clinton was running, through Bill Clinton, through Bush, through Barack Obama. This time I didn't. But when I was out there, I would tell you this. You know what the Democrats told me? They didn't have time for me. I didn't stand for their principles. And I didn't look like the candidate. And I didn't have the money like the candidate. And I didn't have the support like the candidate. It didn't make any difference what I was talking about. I didn't have the powers that be behind me. I didn't have the money behind me. And I didn't have the right color. So it was like, don't come in here. We don't want to talk to you. Now, that's okay for mainstream. But I went to the church where they talk about God all the time, how wonderful God is all the time. And I knocked on the doors of church people. I knocked on the doors of ministers and preachers. And they would tell me stuff like, well, we're Democrats, and we stick to the Democratic Party. And I would say to them, but I'm a representative of God. What God would have you have is what I advocate. And this is what I'm running on. These are the platforms. Why? Because you can have it. And they would tell me, oh, well, we're Democrats. And I said, well, could I just leave some material with you? And they wouldn't even take the material. So, ladies and gentlemen, you got exactly what you deserve. Now, there's something else. I used to feel bad when I was rejected. I used to feel bad when I see people going to the hospital and didn't have insurance. I used to feel bad when I see people at the soup lines and stuff like this when I knew all along they could have the dreams of their hearts. I knew it, and I used to feel bad. And people used to say, God is crying because you are so distant from God. I don't feel bad today. And I want to tell you, God is not crying. God is not feeling bad. See, God is smart. God is smarter than me. God is smarter than you. God is smarter than Trump. God is smarter than the devil. God fixed it up this way, where you got the choice in your life, and he gave you some basic principles. You shall reap what you sow. Right? You shall reap what you sow. Do unto others as you have them do unto you. How are you treating other people? Do you care that they don't have health care? Do you care that they don't have food? Do they care? Well, no, you don't. That's why people keep getting away and doing the things that they do. You don't care. And then the big lie that you've been told, which is what happens after death when you die and stuff like that, and all that Bible garbage. And I call it garbage because it's garbage. It's been used for garbage. If it had any legitimacy, you would have changed. You got people trying to milk you, and they're milking you. And you still going there believing that crap. Do you know what the Catholics used to tell the members way back in the day when Martin Luther was back there? You remember the lies they used to perpetuate? Call themselves explaining no scripture. Look at Osteen and those guys. You guys love them, but you're still in the same pit hole. So when I finally got the truth, I was liberated. And let me tell you this, God didn't tell me the truth. He taught me the truth. When I come to you and tell you God wants these things for you, it's not because I'm believing what somebody said or something that I read. God has taught me this. So when I stand before you and say to you, I'm telling you what I've been taught. If it confirms what the scripture says, right on, right on. If the scripture says something different, I want you to know I didn't get it from the scripture. I got it from the powers that be, God. Now, when I say God, I'm telling you God put me in a situation where I can learn the message. When I stand before you, I stand before you today as a liberated man. I don't have any money. I used to be a handsome man. I'm still a good-looking man. I don't have what you would call good-looking. I'm getting bald in the top. I lost my teeth. And you might, I went to a meeting the other day, and I was speaking to some young people. You know how young people are. They're kind of different than other people. And so one of the kids looked up at me and he saw my teeth looking so funny, and I could sense him telling others, oh, look at his teeth, look at his teeth. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I could have teeth. I have to sell out, though. To me to have teeth, I have to sell out. Because nobody's giving away teeth out here in America. I don't care what you're talking about. You're not getting any free teeth in America. But so in order to get it, you got to be a part of something. You got to get into it. Somebody say you got to get a job. You got to join the system. I don't care how much you knocked it. But if you want some teeth, it's going to cost you some money. So you got to go get some money to get you some teeth. But because I know what you don't know, I stand before you with no teeth. I don't like it, but that's the way it is. That's the way it is. And I'm not embarrassed because you look at me. I got no teeth and you laugh at me. No, that don't even bother me. Baby, I'm free. And I know you're on the path to hell. But the point of it is you don't have to be. You shall reap what you sow. And so God can sit back and just let your life go. God is free from all of this. You shall reap what you sow. And when you close your eyes and when you die and wake straight up in your next life, it is the life that you created. You're doing it right now. You are creating your next life right now. If you're dumb, stupid, and ignorant, you are creating your next life. Dumb, stupid, and ignorant. If you're wise, and who would be wise? There got to be some wise people out there somewhere. And if there are, when you close your eyes, take that last breath, that's the beginning, your first breath, in this world that you have been creating in your heart by your actions, will be your new world. And that, hey, wherever you find yourself, God didn't do it. He put it in your hands. In your hands. And in my hands. So I'm telling you something. If you want a beautiful life, make it. Stop trusting in other people. Make sure that you are standing up for it. And if other people are, it'll come together and be a beautiful life. If nobody's standing up for you, then you stand by yourself. You can't be conquered unless you're alive, unless you're scared, unless you're blind, unless you're ignorant. You better know the truth. And how do you know the truth? The pure in heart. How do you know the truth? The pure in heart. Is your heart pure? All of you evangelicals that's over there behind Trump, you think you are pure in heart? Yes, you do. Can't nobody tell you nothing. Because you're pure in heart. And you're right in Trump. God sent Trump. And God is Trump. And you're the power behind it. Ask Pat Robertson. I just wanted to say that to you, ladies and gentlemen. Take it for whatever it's worth. Bye-bye.